Welcome to all the grade 4 learners all over Namibia watching. My name is Stefanie Kotze, and this is my friend that will be joining us in class today. Welcome to My Zone Online School. First, before we start with our lesson, we are going to sanitize. Okay, so let's spray it on our hands. So you guys must always remember to sanitize and to beware of social distance. Okay. So today we are going to talk about health education and personal health. Okay, grade 4. So before we start talking about health education, let us open our workbooks and turn to page 12. So let's quickly look at the vocabulary words. The first word is personal. Personal means your own or private. So for example, the clothes that you are wearing today, it is your personal or your own clothes. The next word is factors. Factors means the things that causes a change or something that causes a change. And the last word is affect. Can make a difference. So that is something that makes a difference to you, something that affects you. Okay, so let us start off with the relationship between healthy behavior and personal health. So the thing is, health is important to all of us. And what you guys might not understand now is that your behavior affects your health. But before we get into that, you guys need to understand germs and what germs do. So germs are tiny organisms that can make you ill. And the thing is, guys, they are so small that you cannot see them without a microscope. A microscope is a pretty cool tool that scientists use to enlarge teeny tiny things that you can see it with the human eye. Okay, and this is the problem with germs. Because we don't see them, we don't even know that they exist. So now I'm going to show you with a practical illustration how quickly germs can spread. So I'm going to take a small bit of lotion and put it on my hands. So let's say that, now you guys, you need to use your imaginations for this illustration. So let's say that this blue glitter is germs. Okay. So I just went to the bathroom in break time and I forgot to wash my hands. Then I get back in class, and when one of my students walk in, I high five her to greet her. Okay, so let's show them our hands. So now the germs that I had on my hands spread to her as well. So can you guys see how easily germs are spread? Germs can also be spread when you wipe your runny nose with your hand, or when you sneeze and you cough without coughing into your arm. So that is how quickly germs can spread. There are also a lot of sources of germs. It's very important to remember the different sources of germs and where they come from. Germs come from sick people firstly. Okay, so sick people normally sneeze and cough, and that is how germs are spread. Animals also have germs. So I know that you guys love your dogs and your cats and your hamsters, but the thing is they can be full of germs. So when you are done playing with them, it is important to wash your hands. Uncooked food, dirty toilets, and dirty kitchens can also contain germs. So guys, I hope you understand now how important it is for you to be mindful of your own behavior and how you are responsible for your own personal health. Hi, grade 4s. So let's continue. I hope you guys are still with me. So now we are going to talk about personal health factors that affect you and your family. So the thing is, when someone in your family gets sick, it affects the whole family. Let's say, for example, the guardian or the parent in the home gets sick, then that will affect the children as well. So that will mean that they won't be able to go to work, they won't be able to earn money, and they won't be able to pay bills like your school fees, for example. So can you guys see that this becomes a large snowball effect that can definitely and will definitely go wrong? So let's turn to our workbooks. We are still on page 12. And let's start with the first factor, the smoking of cigarettes or tobacco. So the thing is that your lungs are affected when you smoke, and your lungs are weakened, and that means that they can more easily be affected by germs. So in other words, you can more easily become sick. And when someone in the family smokes, the rest of the family inhales the smoke and the fumes. So that means their lungs will weaken as well, and they can be affected more easily by germs too. Smoking can also cause diseases such as lung cancer, asthma, and lung infections. And this is really serious, you guys. The second thing is drinking alcohol. So not only can the drinking of alcohol affect your health, but also that of your family. Things like financial struggles and violence goes hand in hand with the drinking of alcohol. Too much alcohol can actually cause your brain to shrink. Can you guys believe that? It can also cause blackouts, heart damage, and damage to your liver. And while we're talking about families, when a woman is pregnant and she drinks alcohol, then that baby will be born with something that we call alcohol syndrome. Okay, so in other words, that baby will be born with brain damage and with growth problems. And this is not something that you can be healed of. So, yeah, this is very serious, you guys. Okay, so the third thing is a lack of exercise. So nobody wants to be a couch potato. I don't know if you guys know what a couch potato is, but it is when somebody sits in front of the television the whole day and you eat, okay, and you do no physical activity. So that is very bad and unhealthy. So when you don't exercise, it can increase the risk of heart disease, obesity, high blood pressure, and cholesterol. But there's a very easy solution for this problem. Even by exercising 20 to 30 minutes per day, you can increase your health and prevent all of these illnesses. The fourth one is a poor diet. So on that picture, you guys, you can see that that boy is eating a lot of unhealthy food. So it is important to have a balanced diet. Okay, and also the food that we eat gives our bodies energy to do our work, to do our schoolwork, and to play. So the problem comes in when you only eat one type of food. So let's say, for example, you only eat bread the whole day, okay? So that means your body will only receive a teeny tiny part of what it actually needs to function properly and to be healthy, okay? This will also affect your immune system and you will easily become sick. And this counts for you and for your whole family. The last one is not getting enough sleep. So the thing is that when you sleep, your body restores itself. And you guys won't believe this, but you actually grow in your sleep. And after a good night's rest, you wake up full of energy and excited for the new day. But when you don't get in enough sleep, then you wake up tired and irritated. And after a long time of lack of sleep, you can suffer from health issues like blood pressure and heart disease. So this is very important, you guys. So now we can turn to page 13 in our workbooks. So there you will see the self-assessment. We have 2 questions for you. The first question is, identify the relationship between healthy behavior and personal health. So for this question, it is important to remind yourself of germs and what they do. Question 2, for each of the following sentences below, state if it is true or false. So in the little space provided, you guys must go and write true or false depending on the sentence. Okay, but don't worry, the memorandum is also attached, but please try to do this on your own before you look at the memorandum. So before we finish today, my friend and I, we are going to sanitize again. So you can stand up, please. Okay, so let's sanitize. You guys at home, you must remember to do this. This is very important. And remember, social distance. Thank you so much for watching. I've enjoyed teaching you. You guys must have a lovely day. Bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Washi. And make sure to always make a helicopter circle, stretching your arms out and spinning around like me. And make sure you're not touching anyone while doing this. Goodbye!
Akiri, 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 akiri.
We love to wash our hands, and this is how we do it. Wash, wash with clean water. Scrub, scrub, scrub with soap. Rinse, rinse with clean water, and then the germs will go. We love to wash our hands, and this is how we do it. Wash, wash with clean water. Scrub, scrub, scrub with soap. Rinse, rinse with clean water, and then the germs will go. Yay!
Well done, soap and water. You got rid of all the germs on Achilles' hands.
A warm welcome to all the grade 4 learners watching. Welcome to My Zone Online School. My name is Stefanie Kotze, and this is my friend that will be joining us today. But before we start with our lesson, let us sanitize. So this is very important. Everyone at home, quickly go and wash your hands. This is very important to sanitize. Okay? And remember, social distance. Okay, good. So today's lesson is about health education and personal health. Okay, grade 4s. I hope you guys are ready with your workbooks near you. Okay, so in our previous science lesson, we talked about how your behavior can affect your personal health. And we also said that if one person in a family gets sick, that will affect the whole family. So you can open your workbooks on page 26. We are going to talk about number 1, identify foods that help to keep the body healthy. Okay, so let's start with the first one, vitamins. So vitamins is there to keep your body healthy and everything working properly. Vitamins also make your bones strong and keep your gums and teeth healthy. They also help you to grow and they protect us from getting sick. Okay, so this is why vitamins and minerals is so important, because they will prevent illness. But now, guys, it is very important to remember that your body cannot make vitamins on its own. Okay, it cannot create it. We need to eat food that contains vitamins. So we find vitamins in a whole lot of different foods. The first one is fruits and vegetables. You can see it on the picture in your book as well. We also find vitamins in meat and in dairy products, such like milk and cheese. There is even one type of vitamin, vitamin D, that we get from the sun. And I think that is pretty cool. So the second one is protein. Proteins build up your muscles. So this one is specifically for the boys. I know that you guys, you want to be strong like your fathers. Okay, so you need to get in a lot of proteins. Proteins also repair and replace muscles so that your body can keep on working. And another interesting thing about proteins is that they make red blood cells that carry oxygen around your body. They also fight diseases and heal cuts and wounds. So when you get a sports injury or any injury, then the proteins in your bloodstream will help your body to heal faster. We also need to get proteins from the food that we eat. So we can get proteins from a whole lot types of food. For example, from meat, we also get it from eggs, nuts, and dairy products. So let's move on to the third one, carbohydrates. So carbohydrates gives our bodies energy to do work, to play and to do our schoolwork. But now it gets a little bit complicated, and you guys must remember that there are two types of carbohydrates, simple and complex. So simple carbohydrates, another word for it is sugars, and we get this from fruits. That is the healthy sugars, okay? We only get it from fruits. And also what is important to remember is that simple carbohydrates give us a fast supply of energy, okay? But we lose that energy just as fast. Let's move on to complex carbohydrates. We get it from starches, from foods such as corn, potatoes, and carrots. And what is important is that complex carbohydrates gives our bodies energy more slowly, but it lasts longer. Let's move on to the last one, fats. Okay, so fats is actually very important. It is our body's reserve tank of energy, and it protects our organs. It also acts as an insulation, and it keeps our bodies warm. So this is important for the girls now, because I know that you guys want nice shiny hair. Okay, so that is what fats also do. They keep our skin and our hair healthy. But with fats, it is very important to maintain a balance, because too much fats can cause you to become overweight, and that is not what we want. Okay, that contains a whole lot of other health issues. Foods containing healthy fats will be something like avocados, salmon, sunflower seeds, and flax seeds. Grade 4s, I hope you are still with me. Are you still with me? Okay, good. Let's continue with number 2, describe ways how to promote your personal health. So you can take a look on page 26 as well. So let's start with the first one, keep your environment clean. And remember, you guys, in the previous lesson, we said that germs grow and flourish in a dirty environment. And that is why we need to keep our environments clean. Another reason is that mosquitoes breed in standing water that collects in rubbish dumps. Okay, and in malaria areas, this can cause a lot of illness. And if something as keeping your environment clean can prevent the serious illness, it is something we really need to do. The second part is we need to exercise regularly. Exercise helps you to develop a healthy heart and strong muscles. And when you develop a healthy heart and strong muscles, then you won't get sick so easily. So this is very important. And even exercising for 30 minutes per day can develop a healthy heart and strong muscles. So if you don't have a lot of time during the day and you only can exercise for 20 to 30 minutes, that will be enough. The third picture that you can take a look at is get enough sleep. So the thing is, when we sleep, our bodies rest and heals itself. This is why when you get a cold or a flu, your mom is going to tell you, go get into bed until you are healthy. Okay, so, and another thing that is quite cool is that we actually grow in our sleep. So that is why sleep is so important. The fourth one is eat healthy food, eat nutritious food. Okay, we spoke about a balanced diet earlier as well. You need to eat the correct amount of all of the different types of food. Remember, we spoke about proteins, carbohydrates, fats, and vitamins. The last picture, you can see that boy is washing his hands. Okay, so wash your hands after using the toilet. So when you use the toilet, you get germs on your hands. And when you don't wash your hands, you will transfer the germs to anybody that you play with during break time, or when you shake hands with somebody, or something like that. And germs can cause us to become sick, so we don't want to spread germs. But this also includes personal hygiene, like washing your bed linen often and keeping your room clean. Okay, and it is very important, you guys, to help around the house as well. Help your parents to keep the home clean. So let us turn to page 27. In our workbooks, you can take a look with me at activity 1. Okay, so it says match each food type with a correct example. So all you have to do is take a ruler and a pencil or a pen in your hand and then draw a line from the word to the right picture. Okay, so what word do you think fits with each of the pictures? So you guys can do that. And then also activity 2. Describe 3 ways how to promote personal health. And remember, we talked about this, so I am sure that you will be able to do this. But don't stress. The memorandum is on the next page, on page 28. Okay, but please try to do it on your own before you take a look at the memorandum. Before we finish with today's lesson, let us quickly sanitize again. So this is very important. Okay, let's spray it on our hands. Rub it all over your hands. Okay, grade 4s, remember social distance. It is very important. Thank you for joining me for today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Joshi. And make sure to always make a helicopter circle, stretching your arms out and spinning around like me. And make sure you're not touching anyone while doing this. Goodbye!
India's Ranthambore Reserve in Rajasthan is home to the rare Bengal tigers. Every year, John Isaac, an Indian-born photographer, travels from New York City to document the lives of these majestic animals.
In the last 10 years, I think my interest has grown tenfold, and I'm very particular about the survival of the tigers.
His goal is to make sure that people everywhere know about the grave danger Bengal tigers face: extinction. John holds seminars and photographic exhibitions from his visits to Ranthambore to raise awareness of the plight of these tigers. He's currently working on a book to document their dilemma due to an increasing human population encroaching on their territory. According to John and wildlife experts, each tiger needs as much as 9 square kilometers to survive, just under 4 square miles. The relationship between tigers and people has always been difficult, but now, with much less territory to roam, tigers often wander into human settlements.
The conflict between the villagers and the tigers has always been there, and then government tries to compensate. If a tiger kills a goat or a cow, they pay a certain amount to the villagers.
In the past, tigers used migration corridors or routes followed by wildlife for travel between summer and winter habitats. Now these pathways have been taken over by people who use them as living quarters and to reap firewood.
We are trying to work with the communities living around and trying to reduce their forest dependency so that we can conserve this corridor patch for the smooth and easy movement of tigers.
Jamuna Devi, a farmer, lives near one of the migratory corridors. She used to depend on the forest for grazing pastures. Now, thanks to a World Wildlife Fund initiative, Jamuna no longer needs to rely on the forest for her family's survival. The secret? Introducing new alternative crops closer to her home.
गई साल बोया हमने खुद ने, और ये तो अभी यही साल बोया है। ये आया होया कांदा है हम 25 रोज को तो तारीख को तो बोया ही है, और रोज में अंतर तो आगा भूलने लगा।
The success of this project has led to even more changes. Jamuna decided to plant fodder for her cattle on her excess land to further preserve the habitat of the tigers. She has also switched to cooking gas so that she doesn't have to collect forest wood for fuel.
जंगल में सब दुनिया ने जावे छोड़ दिया तो सब बे होगी, कोई काम नहीं करा, लकड़ी को भी नहीं करा, जंगल में जाने से भी परेशान है दुनिया। गैस भेज दिया सबन के घर घर में, वो सभी सिलेंडर पकड़ते हैं, और रुपया को कोई समझते ही नहीं है, अब भीतर भरा लावा।
Climate change also has a direct impact on the habitat of tigers.
The last 2 or 3 years, they say, there's been a drought. The rains have not been regular.
Climate change is a serious problem in this country, even it's in the continent. So keeping these forest areas alive and protected is the only solution. This year we have raised a nursery of 10,000 saplings. Forest department have shown their interest. They bought around 2,000-3,000 saplings.
The idea is to plant new trees to replace those lost to severe weather conditions and human activity. Poaching used to be a major threat to Bengal tigers, but thankfully the number of big cats killed by poachers has plummeted due to measures implemented by law enforcement agencies, resulting in less demand for tiger products. Especially the introduction of camera traps in digital apps, which automatically take photos of moving tigers and suspicious persons moving around in the forest.
Every time I hear something like that, I feel so good, in some ways, some things are working. And so this is what drives me to come and do this. In my lifetime, if the tigers are extinct, I don't know how I'll handle that.
This report was produced by Mary Ferreira for the United Nations.
We hear of a health innovation in Cote d'Ivoire that allows people to carry their personal and medical data on them in the form of jewelry.
Do I actually have to come for every single antenatal clinic? Because those things are tiring.
Thereafter, we have the answers to the 5 frequently asked questions on maternal health on our weekly segment 5 Under 5. We also find out what exactly goes on in an intensive care unit and the crushing stress that comes with it. But first, what do you do if your baby is choking? We hear the untold stories